The novel To Kill a Mockingbird, written by Harper Lee, can be directly contrasted in various ways with the civil rights movement which occurred in America.
Harper Lee's novel, To Kill a Mockingbird, is a story told through the perspective of a young girl named Scout. Her father, Atticus Finch, is a lawyer who has come to the defense of a black man in a rape trial. The story is set in a time where racism was common and where segregation was very apparent.
The American Civil Rights Movement was a mass protest movement against racial segregation and discrimination laws in the United States in the 1950s and 60s. Although the Civil War had abolished slavery, it didn't end racism against colored people. This resulted in an unprecedented fight for equality spanning 2 decades.
The Civil Rights Movement was a movement based off of fighting the oppression and discrimination that was prevalent in the laws in the southern United States at the time. These being forced segregation of most public facilities like buses, schools, and even towns. These facilities were inferior to the white people's facilities in every way. There were also laws that were barriers to rights, such as confusing tests, which were mandatory for black people to vote. The movement mainly consisted of peaceful protests and marches. People of color protested through a series of marches and peaceful gatherings, and the movement had key people such as Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Rosa Parks.
To Kill a Mockingbird and the Civil Rights Movement were centered in the racially segregated state of Alabama, but the major relation between the two was the theme of prejudice and the mistreatment of colored people. In both cases, colored people were looked down upon and didn't have equal rights as everyone else. The case of Tom Robinson To Kill a Mockingbird is the major connector. This event depicts the social and racial injustice to those who are colored. Both eras showed little to no chance at a colored person being treated equally. Although set in 2 different decades, the similarities is very evident.
In conclusion, To Kill a Mockingbird, a novel by Harper Lee, has many similar subjects that could be closely related to the American Civil Rights Movement. The story can be seen as similar to the mistreatment of colored people in racially segregated Alabama, and the oppression that people of color faced in both the novel and reality.